Now, the world is watching two of football's biggest tournaments in progress. One's, of course, in Africa. We've been speaking about it. That's bringing some dramatic events both on and off the field. And the other one in West Asia, the AFC Asian Cup 2023. And the round of 16 starts this weekend. Now, AFC Cup has been electrifying this year. Now, why do I say it? Let's start with the team who's reached the knockouts for the very first time. I've got to go with Palestine first. After an emphatic 3-0 win over Hong Kong, it was one of those matches that transcended the scoreline. The crowd's loud cheers, the flags waving, the players really soaking it all in. Everything was pretty overwhelming for the players in particular, who came into the tournament even as a war continues to wage back home. Right till the final whistle, over 6,000 spectators were roaring for them. It was rather touching to see the emotionally charged players drop to the ground, breaking down into tears. Mohamed Salah, not the one who's recovering from an injury, this is Palestinian footballer Saleh, who was born in Gaza. He couldn't hold back his emotions. He knelt to the ground with his face buried in the grass, sobbing. Their players are out giving people hope, trying to block out what could be happening back home. Many of their homes may have been bombed, but these players are only trying to block all of that out and just play. Their coach, in fact, dedicated the qualification to the round of 16 to the people of Palestine. He called his players heroes. Like he said, they were demonstrating what they are meant to do, like they have nothing to lose. He said they will continue to give their best and only hope that they can maintain focus in the competition to come. Now, Palestine's victory lies in the team's victory. These heroes are making people realize there's light at the end of the tunnel. Listen in to these players before the tournament opener.
We know that any team in this tournament will be very, very difficult to win them. But Iran, all people know that they are one of the best teams and the favorite teams here. But we are prepared to fight in this game, to give our 100%.
Of course, we ask big support from the fans. We hope they stand with us because
the fans, of course, were vociferous, supporting all these players. In fact, one match between Palestine and UAE was particularly tense. Chants of Free Palestine were heard when the teams walked out of the tunnel, and every time UAE had the ball in possession, the crowd would boo them. The significance of this has not escaped sporting arenas everywhere. From pamphlets being thrown onto a tennis court, to a cricketer fighting with the system to sport a message of humanity on his gear. On to another country now, which tells a perfect underdog story, Tajikistan. They have qualified to the round of 16 as well, and in their debut year, much of Tajikistan's group stage matches were low-scoring affairs. It felt like they were waiting for a moment to explode, and it came against Lebanon. Tajikistan came from behind to snatch a 2-1 victory over Lebanon. Tajikistan's national sport, in fact, is Gustigiri, a form of wrestling. It's a sport where physicality and toughness are fundamental. So that sort of translated in their playing style here at the AFC. For a country where football is not one of its primary sports, qualifying for such a tournament in itself is a huge thing. In fact, the country's best achievement before this was winning the Asian Challenge Cup in 2006. It's a tournament for emerging countries. So their underdog story is what dreams are made of. But it's a very rare occurrence, to be honest, when underdogs steal the show, which is why India crashing out shouldn't surprise many. They produced one of their worst performances in 40 years, having lost all of their group matches. Captain Sunil Chhetri wasn't as sharp either. In his last 5 internationals, in fact, he hasn't managed to score a single goal. But it's also probably the expectations that's weighing down on him, especially with experienced players out with injury. India's goal conversion concerns were obvious. What I mean is they created enough chances but failed to find the back of the net or convert them. Other than Chhetri, they don't have a senior expert goal scorer. In a post-match conference after the Blue Tigers lost to Uzbekistan, their coach Igor Stimac was asked who could possibly emulate Chhetri's role. He didn't even blink to say, or take a second longer, to say no one. Imagine that. There's no one who comes close to being as good as Chhetri has for India.
Getting out of that defending mindset, which comes back at us again and again throughout the games against difficult opponents, and that's hunting us, I need to tell you, and it will take us more time, obviously.
But the Asian Cup also had a silver lining for them. Players like Shubhashish Bose and Rahul Beke got opportunities to prove themselves. The AFC Asian Cup also witnessed instances of racism. No surprises there. It's something that never spares the game. Japan's goalkeeper was at the receiving end this time. It happened online though. His name is Zion Suzuki. Suzuki had made an error during the game against Iraq, which gave the opposition the lead. That was enough for all the racist comments to come at him. Japan, though, are through to the round of 16 and they are one of the favourites as well, like South Korea, another contender for the title. But they haven't been at their best lately. They managed to scrap through to the round of 16, because of which they have been targeted. Star player Son Heung-min, their skipper, in fact, appealed to fans back home to just be a little kind. He says there have been very rude comments towards his team and their performances. AFC Asian Cup has proved so far that star power and contender tags don't really mean too much. As long as there is a lot of heart, there could be nothing much stopping you.